Hey guys, my name is Bukola of K.I.B fashion, and today we'll be learning how to make this cone detailed sleeve. It is a normal sleeve with a detailed cone on it. It is very simple and easy to make, so I'll be showing you how to make this. Let's get into it. So here are the fabrics you'll be needing. You'll be needing your Ankara fabric, bridal satin, which I'm going to be using for my lining. I'm going to be using hard gum stay. You can also use a peplum stay to make this sleeve. I've gone ahead to cut my basic sleeve. You can also cut yours. It's very easy. This is a long sleeve, a basic long sleeve that I've gone ahead to cut. So after which I'm going to start with the cone cutting now. So you're going to go ahead and fold your fabric the normal way we fold our fabric, like it's a regular way of folding fabric. Go ahead and fold it. You see the way I'm folding it. Ensure that one of the sides of your fabric is on fold like so, and the other side can be open like this. Now the length of your cone totally depends on you. You can decide to make it long or short, but then the maximum length you can do is 7 inches. But for this particular one that I'll be making 6 inches plus my sewing allowance. 6 inches to make my half circle, because what I'm cutting for the cone is an half circle. So I'm going to go ahead and mark my 6 inches all around, then make a curve with it, then cut it out. So I'm cutting and marking the 6 inches all around like so. I'm going to chalk it all around, then cut it out one after the other. So for each sleeve, you'll be needing like 6 or 7 cones for each of the sleeve. So for this particular one, I'll be making 6 or 7. I think I should be doing 7 inches for this particular one I'm making. You can as well do 6 pieces of cone, depending on how full you want it to be. So I'm going to go ahead and continue cutting it until it is up to the number I want. I'll keep repeating it like so until I am able to get exactly the length and the pieces of cone that I need with the Ankara fabric. So by the time we are done cutting this, we'll be cutting it exactly like so with our bridal satin, which is the doll face that I'm using as the lining. You're going to go ahead and cut it exactly as you have cut the Ankara. Exactly as you have cut the Ankara. That is how you're going to go ahead and cut it out like so until we are done cutting it as well. So here is me cutting it one after the other, tracing it out one after the other on the bridal satin. Ensure that one side of your doll face is also on fold, just as one side of your Ankara is on fold. So the next thing I'm going to be doing is to be placing each of the Ankara on the hard gum stay. I actually personally prefer to fuse my gum stay on my Ankara and not on my lining, because there is a way it makes your doll face look rumpled. So I prefer to add my interfacing to my Ankara. So after placing it, you go ahead and fuse it with my iron, then trim them one after the other. So I've gone ahead to do that, and I've trimmed them out one after the other. After which, I went ahead to reduce the cone, because I later realized that it was too long I wanted it a bit shorter, so I reduced it to 4.5 inches, just like I'm showing you right now. You can leave it at the 6 inches we did earlier, but then I think I'll prefer it to be a bit shorter, so I reduced it to 4.5 inches, just like I've shown you in the video. So let's continue with our video, with the tutorial. So I'm going to go ahead and place my lining on each of the Ankara fabrics, then trim out the excesses of the lining like so, just as I'm doing in the video. You trim out the excesses. It's just for a neat finishing. After trimming it out, I'll go ahead and sew the curve area, the rounded part of the cone, with half of an inch, like so, just as I've shown you with my hand. I'm going to go ahead and do each of these cone like that, place my lining on it, trim out the excesses of the lining, then sew my half inch. I've gone ahead to sew the half inch, just like you're seeing it, then I'm notching it. You can decide to notch it, or you can decide to leave it like that. After notching, I'm going to turn it to the right side like so. So I'm going to do each of these cones like that. I've gone ahead to do everything like that, one after the other. So the next thing we're going to do is to iron it properly. Iron it to the point that you will see, till you see that the linings are not flipping out of the Ankara. So the next thing is to fold your cone into two like so. Make sure it is facing the right side like this. Then you make your sewing half of an inch outside it with half of an inch like this. Remember, what we're trying to do is a cone. So then after which you trim out all the excesses, like trim it down to the barest minimum like so. Then you go ahead and give it a nice press inside that particular seam area, just for it to be in a rounded form like a cone. After which you're going to go ahead and pick your basic sleeve that we cut earlier. Then you start placing the cone at the center part of the cone of the sleeve. Make sure you can use your iron to form a crease line in the middle of your basic sleeve. Then you start placing your cone. Ensure that the seam allowance area is exactly where it's facing your fabric. Ensure that your seam allowance area on the cone, that side we made a seam, should be what is facing the crease line you made on your Ankara, on the sleeve. You can as well use a chalk to determine the mid part of your basic sleeve like this. So you're going to go ahead and keep pinning it one after the other inside each other. We'll place it inside each other like so and keep pinning it down. I'll keep placing it inside each other like so, pinning it down, arranging it. Ensure that it does not go in too much, neither is it coming out too much, and make the seam allowance area to face each other, to be on top of each other. As you're placing the cones in each other, ensure that the seam area is also facing the sleeve, your basic sleeve, and also facing the previous seam of the cone that you have placed. So after you have finished placing it, this is what it will look like. And here is it after I've attached it to the style I'm making. Here is what it looks like. If you find this tutorial helpful, kindly like, share and comment. Please don't forget to subscribe. Thank you. Bye. See you in my next video.